everybody, it's Catherine from Created by Catherine, and we're here for Tuesday sewing. And as you saw yesterday, those of you that watched yesterday's video, the two things we pulled out of the jar was own choice again. Well, you know, what's odds of that coming out twice in a row? And safety pins. So that's quite challenging, I think. So I've put together just a few of my fabrics. I wanted to put this old map in it because it's fabric backed. A bit of old script there, and another one of my hoarded piece of Indian embroideries. And what I thought I'd show you today is, I don't remember last week's square, I did some stitching round the safety pin, and so I thought would do a few of those today. And then also what I wanted to do as my choice is I want to make some of these circles, and this is how you make the sushi mirrors. And the little sushi mirrors, in fact, I know one fell out when I was getting something out of my kit, and I bet it's gone now. Just want to, if not, I'll have to find it. This is my little jar of bits and bobs. I'm sure this is where I put it. Do you know what? Easier just to tip it up, wouldn't it? So the sushi mirrors are the little round glass mirrors that you put behind embroideries, and yeah, can't see one in here. Everything but, no doubt, just in case you want any little bits and bobs to finish off some ephemera. Yeah, can't see it. I'll have to get another one out to show you if you don't know what they are. And these are washers, very inexpensive. I got a great big tub full of them from Lidl, the supermarket, and they're really your household washers, but they're great for embroidering round. So I thought we'd do some of those. I could have sworn I'd put one in here at the weekend. I bet I've put it in this one. Sorry guys, just let me... You know, sometimes when you know you've done something and then you can't find it, you think, am I imagining it? Am I imagining it and going a bit loopy-loo? No, don't put it in there. I don't know. We'll get one out later.
What's up?
I wanted something out my beading box, but it's too hard to get out. I thought I got one of those little mirrors on here. Oh. The little Indian mirrors, you know, from Hobbycraft. Right. Yes. There isn't one in there, so we'll forget that. I'll find one later and show you it at the end, or a photo. Okay, so yeah, very inexpensive. You can buy them in a bag, you know, bags of small amounts, or a big tub like this, and they're great. I find them really useful. I mean, I suppose if you're making some dangles, these little fine ones, you know, are quite effective if you mix them in with some beads. But today we're going to do some sewing on them. So sewing on there and sewing, and you know what I've done, don't you? You know what I've done? My two safety pins I've got out to sew. I've put them back in here. Now that's not a coilless one. Oh, for goodness sake, we're not. I'll have to go and cut. And cut.
Action.
Okay, so I'm back. I didn't think you wanted to look at me sorting through those again. Okay. Right, so I've got that lovely thread out that we used the other week, and I think that will go really nicely with this. So we'll start off with this on the large one. Do you know, I think that people see the lights on, and because the little bedroom is at the front with the lounge, and I'm sure people walk past on purpose. It's a very quiet road, apart from when I'm filming, and then people walk past and set the dog off.
Wolf.
There'll probably nobody go past now for once I finish. Okay, so we're going to have a go with this. I'm going to, I've got a blunt needle. This is one of my tapestry needles. So let me just, I put a knot on to start with. How you're really supposed to do it is hold it in so that this this thread is caught in as you're sewing along. So we will do that then. We'll do that. So it's doing blanket stitch really. So you put that through there. It's not going to go around that. Bit tricky to start with. And you thread that through and pull. Okay. So basically that's your stitch. You put it through, hook it through the gap and pull and move it next to it. So you can see we are trapping this in. Take it through the back and through. Simple enough to do, but you'd be surprising. The hardest thing I find is judging how much thread you need, because if you don't cut enough thread and you run out halfway around or just nearly when you get to the end, it's really difficult then to tie it in neatly, I find. So okay, so we'll go through the back, hook it through there as if we're doing blanket stitch, and there we go. So you're starting to get the edging there. Okay, so that's a matter of just going round and doing that. Okay, pull this. There we go, we've nearly got this one tied in out the way, and then you've sort of got to try and do it again at the other end. Just got to have a little bit of patience with it, because it's not so bad on these larger ones, but when you're doing the small ones you can soon get in a bit of a tangle. There we go. Trying to, that's getting in the way now, isn't it? Right. Oh, right, okay. It's because my hands, I know I was going to wear my little gloves. David got me some magnetic arthritis gloves. I'm going to try those and see, because oh crikey, I am suffering at the minute. And I don't like to moan, but you know, I don't think it helps, does it, when you love crafting and you start to get problems with your joints. There we go. That's it. I'm really liking this. So you've got a flatter edge and a round. So I suggest that you hot glue them if you can, or some very, very strong glue, because they are quite strong. But look at that. I think that's going to look beautiful. Let's tip those off. I think that's going to go beautifully with this. Yeah. So yeah, matter of we'll just keep working our way around this then for now, and then we'll do a couple of paper clips. So hope you're all doing okay, and it's a miserable day here today in Scarborough. It's very wet and damp. Yesterday we went, there's an old, we live nearer Caton Bay than in Scarborough town. We're just on the outskirts, and it's very difficult to get down to, not difficult, but it's very steep, shall we say, to get down to Caton Bay. The sands down there are beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's very unspoilt, but it is very steep road that goes down. David can't manage it now. But the old road that used to be the old main road to Filey on the cliff tops was shut off. Oh, I don't know, probably 20 years ago they built a dual carriageway, and it's still it's still passable. It's the road surface, so it's great. There's some paths, woodland paths and things there, so it's great for taking Nelson. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. It's great for taking Nelson on there, and it's a lovely view over the sea. And so we went there. I often will take Nelson along there, but you've got to go in the car to get to it. Really, it's not, it's probably only about 6 or 7 minutes in the car, but it'd be a bit too far to walk. And it's a really lovely walk, but it's very exposed because it's on the cliff top. It's very exposed to the elements, so if you're having a really rough windy day, it's cold. And it was freezing yesterday, and I think you get lulled into a false sense of security because it's autumn, and we know that October, we're end of October, and we generally know the weather is starting to get quite cold in the UK. But because we've had some nice sunny days, I'm not all prepared yet. I've not got my woolly hat out, and I've found some gloves in the back of the car, in the boot of the car, because I often keep sort of spares of bits and bobs in the car. But goodness me, it was freezing, and Nelson hates it if his ears get cold. So we're not going to do that walk today. We'll do something different. But the thing is that we get very high winds here because we're quite high up. See, I'm going to run out, look there. We're quite high up, and it opens out at the, we can't see the sea or whatever from where we are, but it's quite open and high, and so the winds just whoosh across from the North Sea, and goodness me, the North Sea winds are cold. See, I'm not a cold weather person. I hate being cold. Hate it. Hate being cold. I never used to like playing out in snow when I was little. If I was forced, and which isn't normal, I'm sure, for kids. Kids like playing in snow. And for some of you, that live, like in Florida, for example, places where you've always got nice weather, you probably love some snow, some wintry scenes. Sorry, I'm having a slip of tea David's made. Hope you've got yours. I've no cake this week, sorry. No cake. I don't make one every week. We've got to be careful of the... I'm going to cut that down a little bit. We don't want too much to have to tie in. Yeah. We don't have to put a knot in it, look, by normal. Right, sorry, I'm not going to talk a minute because I do need to concentrate on this. The trouble is that if you make your threads too long, they're not easy to work with, are they? It's just a matter of, sorry, because I find it difficult to I haven't got the same dexterity as I used to have for small things, you know. We need to be this way around. Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm fiddling. While I'm fiddling with this and showing you how my hands are, hands are getting old and decrepit. Right, okay, I've got a handle on it now. Okay. Right, so I've just got to try and get these in. If we get them in the middle, you see what I mean? This is why it gets tricky if you don't have enough thread. You know, this is the trickier bit, trying to tie it in so it doesn't look a mess and doesn't come loose. Okay, so I'm going to hold them there while I go around. Okay. I'm trying.
Perfect.
I can't do with this tripod in my way. Right, okay. So, on we go now.
Checkmate.
I don't know what you mean, checkmate. Oh, do you know he comes out with such daft things and you haven't got a clue what he's on about? Thank you for the tea, darling. Off you go. Off you go. He likes to pretend, you know, that he's badly done to. He isn't at all. He's you know, he is a lot quieter than me, but he won't be pushed around on David. He just pretends for you guys. Make me look bossy. Okay, so we're going again now. Yeah, so we're going to have a different we'll have a different walk today. It's finding where to go where there's not loads of people, because it's half term here and the schools are on half term. And oh yeah, so thank you very much for everybody that sent the well wishes for our wedding anniversary on Saturday. And actually, when we got married, 2008 we got married in Newark in Nottinghamshire, and it was cold but lovely and sunny. And look, can you see? You've got to be concentrating, really. It's one of those things you need to concentrate on. Yes, it was lovely and sunny. And yeah, so thank you for your well wishes. We went down to now we'd been fancying some fish and chips. There's nothing like proper fish and chips. And for those of you that don't live in the UK, you know, it's a bit of a seaside, British seaside tradition, really, having lovely fish and chips that are you know, fried in batter. And when you have them in when I was little, we used to have them in newspaper, but obviously nowadays, you know, it's not PC, is it? You used to get print on your hands and things, and now they won't, you know, health and safety standard won't let that happen. So obviously they have the you know, like the glassine type paper and that to wrap them in. So look, see, I'm too busy talking. So we decided that's what we'd do for our wedding, because usually we go away for our wedding. You know, that's the time when we have a bit of a break. We go away in October, but obviously can't at the minute. So we went down to the seafront in Scarborough, because at Caton there's no shops. Caton Bay near us, there's no shops, nothing. It's just the beach and the sea. Oh, everybody and the grandmothers was there. It was absolutely heaving. So everybody, and the thing that astonishes me is a good part of the northeast of the UK is now on lockdown, and we aren't. We're still in a low level. and we were a low level in the summer, but obviously then loads of holiday makers came, and then you know you get in the mixing of families and stuff. It was absolutely heaving, so we couldn't go to our normal place, which is on the foreshore, where you know there's a bit of an area that's full of amusement arcades and things, which we're not so keen on. But that's a very small part really of Scarborough. But they have fantastic fish and chips down there. Well, there was far too many people, so we went further round the headland. It's two parts. There's a big headland, so you get the South Bay and the North Bay, and we went there, and there's like takeaway cafe place, often where bikers and that they'll stop and have fish and chips and sit outside and eat them. See, I've run out again because this is very large. I'm not making this easy for myself, am I? I hope you can follow this okay. I'm supposed to be teaching people that don't know how to do it, and I'm faffing. And it was very well organised. We got our masks on, and you know it was all marked out outside, queuing up to make your order. But the idiots that weren't taking any notice, that still weren't wearing the masks and things, it just astounds me. And I know we don't want to spend all day talking about the convids, as Jim Davidson. I don't know if you know, Jim Davidson is a comedian. I mean, he's in his 60s now, and he was known for being a bit. He used to tell quite dirty jokes back in the day, you know, and he could. He used to go around clubs and things where I suppose some of the northern clubs, they thought that was funny to have dirty jokes and things. But he's mellowed as he's got older. And I'm going to tie this, I think. He calls it the convids. If he talks about it, he says it's the convids. Right, sorry you haven't seen that. I've put a knot in it. I can't be bothered to do another joining. But it won't look as neat. Let's see where we can hide it. Okay. Right. We should be able to. We've got that bit there. Okay. And on we go. Yeah, so there were so many people, and I'm thinking where they're coming from, because South Yorkshire's on lockdown, West Yorkshire's on lockdown, and they're usually the people that come, you know, they're mostly for holidays here to Scarborough. And so I was getting a bit anxious, really. I do have to say I was getting anxious because I was, you know, some of them weren't wearing masks, which was, you know, we'd been in shielding for 4 months, very strict shielding because of health things. And so, of course, it, you know, it does feel more scary than ever when you know that you're in a vulnerable group. And some of them weren't wearing masks, and it was so busy, you know, not busy as in people that live here, but the volumes of people that were there, they'd either come for a day trip or they'd come for the week. And, you know, generally speaking, the majority, as I say, would be coming from areas that are so high with the convids that they should be on lockdown and not going anywhere. And I really got quite anxious about it all. And I think it sort of makes you realise that, you know, this has affected every single person in some shape or form. And I think people that say it hasn't affected them psychologically don't realise that it's affected them. Does that make sense? Because I think, you know, it made me realise that I don't like to be where there's a lot of people. I'm just going to thread it along, at the end without making it loose. Okay, There we go. And I'm going to cut that in a minute if I can. You watch, I'll cut it and it'll all fall to bits. I've done that before now. There we go. Right, there's your thing. Now, with this, you've got all the, you can't see because it's so, because of the thread I've used, but you've got this little pretty edge. So if I curl it up like that, look, if you've got a plain thread you can see it better. There you are, you've got a little pretty edge there all round, and there's your, that looks lovely. I like it on the map. I might do it down there, we'll see. So we'll do a small one now, and we'll use a different thread. I've got some nice like silk green. We'll use that and do another. Okay. Yeah, so we got our fish and chips, and we sat in the car. Moved the car to somewhere, you know, part of the bay where it was quieter. And watched, we thought the sea was going to be really rough because the winds were very high on Saturday, but actually the sea wasn't too bad when we got down there. So that was the highlight of our weekend. Now you probably did something exciting over the weekend. It was a bit different for us, you know, but we made the most of it. And sorry, slurper tea time. Okay, so I'm going to try this green perlé thread. So it's a matter of just playing around really with different size washers. Now you can get the big ring washers that aren't flat, and they do give a different effect, but personally I prefer the flatter ones. I find that they're a lot easier to handle, the flat ones. And these are the sort of washers if you are going to stick mirrors in. So the little mirrors you just stick to the back and put them on. So if you recall, a lot of saris or cantha blankets, things like that, they would decorate them with these mirrors. And they really give a beautiful effect. Right, so okay, we're going this way, and we're tying that one in. So we'll hold that up there. It's just a matter of getting your fingers in the right place really, and you'll probably be able to see the blanket effect better with this. And these I think they just make fabulous adornments really to journal covers and other projects. Okay, I'll just do a couple more stitches and then I can get rid of this tag, because that's not going to go off now. Okay, there we go. So pull it fairly tight, and you need to, you know, keep pulling them back so you don't get gaps. And can you see on here how you're getting this pretty edge, look? I shall cut that a bit closer when we've finished. Okay. So we had these fish and chips, and then we came home because it all made me really anxious, to be honest. So we came home and we got some jam roly-poly, suet jam roly-poly in the freezer, with custard. So that was our treat for dessert. And actually, you know, you've got to make the most of things, haven't you? It was quite an unorthodox anniversary. But we're not eating fish and chips out for 6 months. They are very high in fat, really, because they're all, you know, the fish is cooked in batter, and they're dipped in, or you know, high oil, high temperature oil, and same with the chips. But if they're cooked nice, they shouldn't be dripping with oil. You know that if it's dripping with oil, it's a dodgy place to buy them. Just gonna have a cup of tea a minute. Stretch my hand out. Okay. So I'll whiz around this. So I can just show it you on the safety pins. Just for a different effect, something a bit different to put on your squares. I mean, I think it'd be nice. I can just see now, thinking about it, you know, to make a journal cover with all different of these sewn. Now I like the effect. I like that because it matches in with the Indian embroidery piece. But I like using perlé. It's just got that, I don't know, it's just got that finished edge to it. It's got a bit of a twist to it. And I just think it looks really, really, you know, finished off. You can see now why you need a blunt needle. So this is a needle point or tapestry needle. I mean, there'll be some of you, you know, I don't want to mean as if I'm trying to teach people to suck eggs. They already do embroidery and stuff like that. Right, we'll have another one, I think. It's just... No, I think that'll be alright. We'll just... No, I'll do one more. Just about got there with the thread, guys. Okay. And then we just thread that through. Thread that through. Oh, crikey. This is, as I say, the beginning and end are the hardest bit, and of course my hands are not right at the minute, so it's that's it. Push them all together like that. I sometimes use this if I'm fixing them to a piece. I then leave that on and use that to sew it in, and then that neatens that off. Okay, so that's that one done. What you then can do is you can bring this edging in a bit more round like that, just so you've got that pretty edge in there. There we go with that one. Right, I'm just going to have another go with, just do a safety pin, and then that's probably a video. Surprising how these half hours go quickly. Right, I've just asked David to pass in my cushion, which you saw when we were looking at the French knots. So these are the little mirrors. There you go. So you can see, look, one of the little rings and then just put the mirror behind it. We get them from Hobbycraft here, so Hobby Lobby you have over in the States, or what equivalent you have overseas. Right, okay, I'm going to use this same thread, I think, seeing as I've got it handy. And I'm just going to quickly show you. It's the same principle with the safety pin. I can get the needle threaded, as I say. Sorry guys, my hands are really struggling at the minute. It's a big enough eye as well, crikey. Right. Don't know why it's habit I put a knot on the end. Right, okay, I've got one of these coilless safety pins. So I don't really want to put the fancy bit on that's going to come undone, because, you know, they'll come off. So we're going to do it on the bottom. So the same principle really. I'll tie a knot in this. Crikey, aren't I fumbling today? Right, okay. So I'm just going to cut the most of that off. We don't want too much of it to get in the way. Okay, so take the thread over like that, because we want to catch it in, and take it through and loop it through to make, oops, oh, crikey. Right, through, loop, pull. Oh, what a rigmarole I'm showing you, and you're thinking, oh, give it here, let me show you, Catherine. You're making a right pig's ear of it. Right, that doesn't want to, okay. It's that knot doesn't want to be tied in. Okay, we're going now, we're rolling. In fact, this is easier to do than the round ones, but just keep pushing it up. Push up, push up. Now if you want, with these coilless ones, you can carry on going all the way around if you want to. Or you can then add some beads with it as well. So say, you know, for this, if you wanted to add some beads, you could do it with a beading needle. I mean, there's no way this will go through the middle of beads that would look right on here. You only want dainty ones, don't you? So as you're doing that, then you could then just add a bead to the mix if you wanted, which I think would make it quite pretty. The other thing that I've done with these as well, and see how nice that's looking, is use some very small knitting needles, knit a few rows of knitting, and then hook them onto your safety pin, and they dangle down and they look effective. I've done some of those in some journals I've not shown yet that I did in lockdown, and they look cute. See, it just looks really pretty, doesn't it? So really it's like blanket stitch round a pin. Except, you know, you're doing it back to front blanket, reverse blanket stitch, because normally, you know, often you'd have the, you'd have the across bit at the top. We've got it at the bottom here. Yeah. It's lovely to work with, Perlay. It's one of my favourite embroidery threads, really. Twist about. Davy's gone off to his making paper. As we speak, he's doing his avocado paper. Oh, he's been stewing it and all sorts all week. He's, you know, he's like every week the batch looks so different, and he enjoys perfecting it really, and to get different markings. We don't have any of those plastic doilies that people use to make nice markings. So you can see here we can go all the way around if we want, completely cover it. But as I say, I don't want to go too far because that's going to be going through, or you know, you might not pin it at all if you want to use it like this. You could actual fact then use it as you can push it through and fasten it on. Okay, so we'll go up at this side. It's hard though because you really then need to swap it to one that's not blunt. So I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to carry on doing that now because it's hard. So you'd swap it to a needle that's not blunt, and then you would attach it to your work. So you've still got a bit free to move about, but then this one is attached. So you could do it like that as well. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to put that there. I think that looks nice. So that is about a video. Don't know if that looks, not sure, quite like it there actually. There. Yeah, quite liking that. So I hope that's helped, even though I've been in more knots and tangles than not. I hope that's give you some ideas. Really play around with the little washers and have a go at that. And yeah, let me know what you've chosen for your own choice again this week. David just brought a couple of papers in, hot off the press. Wow. Wow, wow, look at that. That's amazing. They were very brown, the skins, this set of avocados, weren't they? Mm-hmm. See, look at different colorations. You just can't believe how they all turn out so differently. This is the one that was the first press, so you've got a lot more deeper, richer markings. And the edgings. Smells nice. This one's fabulous as well. Oh, wow. The king of avocado, are you? They're gorgeous, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. There's still a load more coming.
Is there? Good. So yeah, don't forget you can get those from the shop. Right guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really enjoying these Tuesdays, and I know one or two of you have been in touch and said you are, because I thought, did we want to swap it to anything else? But no, people are enjoying it. I think it's fun as well that we've got the pick jar, because you never know what's going to come out. It gives it a bit of an extra element, I think, and it's just nice to sit and have a bit of a sew, isn't it? It's good fun. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on Thursday. Don't forget, we're going to be making some handmade paper, bit of a, you know, Christmas colours. So if you've got any bits of threads and petals and bits and bobs in Christmas colours, then that'll be great, and we'll have a play with that. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. You've got supposed to ring that bell as well, I think. Ring the bell, otherwise you won't be notified when a new video's coming up. All right then, stay safe out there. Much love. Bye.